Right here, man, right here. My great big booming voice, you can hear me, right? How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Brian. I am a director, producer, creative director of the podcast Be Sayin, in which I tackle news and interests of mine, including but not limited to comedy, writing, politics, and the male perspective. I am so excited to be opening for the one and only Mira Striker! I'm a little nervous. I gotta say, I'm a little nervous. It's my first, like, Jewish show. I am one of the tribe, though. I should say that right off the bat. I'm one of the tribe. I'm also from New York, which would explain that weird thing when I'm short, you know? But I was my podcast is like half investigative journalism, half pop culture, and I was invited today to talk to you about a segment I recently did called J-Date, the terrifying truth. You know what J-Date is, right? Yeah. J-Date is like this, you know, insultingly, poorly designed, you know, culturally tone-deaf dating site for Jews that was conceived by guys who Googled the word Jew and came up with Mila Kunis and matzo balls, right? I joined because I wanted to meet a girl who my mom wouldn't hate. And, you know, maybe she would sleep with me a lot and be kind of mysterious and cool about it, you know, and make me fight for it, but not that hard, you know. Too much to ask for, I mean, seriously. But the thing about J-Date is, you know, all the girls on there are like, they're like really, really cute, you know, they're really, really smart, and they're really, really looking for a husband like yesterday. And like I said, I dabble in investigative journalism, and I found that 15 out of 20 girls on J-Date write under interests, food, and new experiences. Food and new experiences. Let's start with food, okay? Like, I love it when chicks talk about food like it's like sex, like it's like naughty and interesting. But you need food to live. Right? Unless you're like Bobby Flay or something, I don't know if that counts as an interest. It's like, hey, Grant, what are you interested in? Sports. What are you interested in? Breathing. Regeneration. This sandwich. I don't know. And new experiences. Like, technically, every single second of your life counts as a new experience. So, are we talking about tacos with me or shooting heroin in the back of a Five Guys? A little more specific. Needless to say, I didn't get a whole lot of responses, though. Probably doesn't help that, like, most people don't count podcasting as an occupation. Yet. It's getting there. Cereal?
Yeah.
Brian Be Sayin? Right. One day I come across this profile, alright? Her name is Aviva. And she's like giving the camera the side eye, you know, which I like. There's no offense, because on J-Date, a lot of girls, they post pictures of themselves with their nanas or like, you know, going to fucking business expos in Dallas and shit. But this was like the side eye, so this is like serious. So it was like a refreshing change. Plus, she was showing off her jubes. Right? You're like party, you know, you want to like wrap yourself up and now them sing to you. I'll stop. So anyway, Aviva, she does not have under her profile food and new experiences, no. She has singing in minor chords. Okay? Dogs, not cats, fucking go on. Not looking for a husband, just a connection. So, of course, I'm like in love with this chick already, right? So I, whip out my signature line. I'm like, hey, I like your hairdo. I don't know why I'm not getting action like all the fucking time. She actually wrote me back, and she wrote me back 4 words that I will never forget. She says, "Let's do something exciting." Want to come back to my place then? No, Brian. More exciting than that. Okay, let me backpedal here. Let me backpedal. Want to go rock climbing? About rock climbing. What the fuck am I doing? He goes back. No, Brian. Not the brochure kind of exciting. I'm talking about really exciting. So now, like, I want this crazy chick more than anything in the world, right? So I'm, like, agonizing over this. I start to, like, lose sleep and shit. I'm, like, checking her Twitter, and she's all like, "I hate it when men condescend to me. I call it mansplaining." So I'm like, well, maybe I'll, like, take her to, like, a feminist conference, right? Or, like, take her to a place where she can, like, flog dudes or something, right? Because my, like, excitement and my enjoyment is sort of important here, too. Then she writes something like, "Oh, it's cold out, sad face." And I'm like, maybe I'll take her to the Caribbean. Like, out of nowhere. And I'm like, no, I'm broke, and what if she's, like, catfishing me, and I'm going to wind up on a beach somewhere with all my credit cards missing and shit. And she writes, like, "Oh, brunch is the death of culture." And I'm like, oh, maybe we'll just go to brunch and blow everyone away with AK-47s. Would that be fucking exciting? I'm like, lose sleep, man. Like, I'm, like, afraid that my radio silence, like, she's going to find somebody who's, like, richer and way Jewisher than me, and I'm starting to get really worried, and suddenly she texts me a few days later, and she says, "Brian, it's got to be Wednesday. What's the exciting thing going to be? It's got to be Wednesday." Fuck. Guess what I have to do Wednesday, guys? This show. This fucking contractually obligated show. So I'm like, can we do it on Thursday, Wednesday? I have this show. She's like, "I'm coming to your show." I'm like, no. It's called Have a Tequila. It's probably not your speed. She's like, "I'm coming to your show, Brian. Not only am I coming to your show, but I'm going to be in your show." So now I realize this chick is completely batshit, you know, but she's really hot, you know, so I'm intrigued, and I'm like, well, what are you going to do in my show? She says, "I don't know, I don't like to plan." So I realize that I'm totally rationalizing this into being a good idea. She might come out here and wind up being completely fucking psychotic, and she might wind up ruining absolutely everything, but you know, you only live once, right? And she's really, really cute, and so she's gonna come out here, and I just need you to, like, you know, like, clap, you know, or like laugh, you know, just don't ruin this for me, okay? Hi, Aviva, how's it going? Do you know what you're doing yet? Is that what you're wearing? You know that shit I said out there, I'm usually much funnier. Like the live audience, it's kind of a tough crowd, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I mean, it's lovely to meet you. You're real beautiful. Are you ready? All right, break the leg. Adonai, 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 Adonai. Baruch atah. Yodelei. Dum 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 dum. To be here to sing the songs of my ancestors. I'm really just here on a world tour. You know, I was just in LA and kibbutz in Israel and Burning Man. New York, it's just got this energy. It's great. I love it. I'm really just here so you'll donate to my Kickstarter. I'm going on a yoga retreat in Delhi, and I really need things like hotel, food, transportation. So if you like my act, you can head to my website after the show. It's Aviva Warrior 1. Just donate what you can. Everything helps. So you're probably wondering, Aviva, what's your act? Well, aside from that ancestral improv jam that you just heard, I'm also a professional storyteller. I like to tell stories about the people I see, the travels I do, the people I meet, the people I see, myself, people, the travels I do. Today, I'd like to read a story to you about a woman who once inspired me a long time ago. Prague, dawn. The view from the hotel window beckoned like a siren song, the graying skies and ebbs of the Vritava River. My vagrant spirit to the steadily unraveling kismet. In other words, I went for a walk. She was forlorn and alone in a cafe, eating what I can only imagine was a meal earned on the strength of her calluses and served up in a broth of sadness. In the background, there was a pigeon. The woman, 50s, brunette, Jewish, I just knew. I'd seen her hooking on the streets the night before, in stilettos and leather. Now she was wearing a cheap chain store coat, eating dumplings among the common folk. Juxtaposition. I watched her eat, purposefully, with purpose. She asked me, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And I told her, "You're fascinating." She wiped her mouth and put down her fork. Or rather, she put down her fork and then wiped her mouth. Unless, of course, she wiped her mouth with one hand, which would enable the foremost descent of the fork. Either way, she no longer had a fork in her hand. And the food had been whisked away from her face. It was all coming together. She told me, "Okay, American, my name is Marlena, and I will tell you my story for 50 euros. I decided to take a gamble. With risk, life giveth. I gave her all the 50 euros that I had in the world besides my trust fund. And so she began. The woman's story was swift, brutally honest, if at not times playful. It was a story so gripping, so rich, so, as they say in French, beau. When she told it, my hair stood on end. It had a beginning, a middle, bold characters driven by high personal stakes, a formidable climax, followed by a feather-like declination to its conclusion. And when she was finished, the pigeon flew away. I know what you're thinking. Aviva, why storytelling? Why not film or television? The truth is, I like the intimacy. We're connecting right now. Feel it. You see, we're all part of the samsara, which is the notion that everything that there was, everything that there is, and everything that there will be is seamlessly bound by the universe. So when I'm telling a story, I don't feel as if I am telling the story of another. I feel as if we are one. We are the same.
Oh my God! Will somebody please take that fucking hippie out of her misery? My name is Marlena. You may remember me from 5 seconds ago in a story from the cat. You will tell me if there is a nip
prostitution trade when I was a very young girl, and it was against my will, and boo-hoo-hoo, blah, blah, blah. The truth is, I would have done anything to distract her so that I could take this from her purse. And would you look at that? Nothing. Rich Americans, they carry nothing but coffee shit in their wallets now. Coffee cards, coffee gift certificates, coffee passports with the stamps on it. I have your wallet at all. Here's the truth. I'm not a whore, I'm a dominatrix. And there is a difference, and you know it. Nobody feels sorry for a dominatrix. So, I will tell you a time, about the time when I fell in love, many, many years ago. Why not? I'm all dressed up, no place to go, you have no choice but to listen to me, so let's dance. Then we can all take one nice big pee break, okay? Now you will hold it! A long time ago, I fell in love with a man named Yiddish. Everybody in the Czech Republic is named Yiddish, so I don't have to change his name. Yiddish ran the bank, which during communist times was like a joke. Like, oh, you run the bank. Like, oh, you stay home and beat off all day. It's better in Czech, but Yiddish really did run the bank. At the time, I was doing what I do best, which was luring men into giving me ridiculous amounts of money to belittle them. It never ceases to amaze me. You go to America, Europe, communist, democracy, you will always find the men who want to be strangled with their own socks and have grapefruits thrown at their genitals. So at the time, I was going to the bank one day to deposit 70,000 crowns cash. And I was wearing my little Western stilettos and the skirt. This was during a time of mass unrest and widespread starvation. I thought I was invincible, I don't know. So I go up to the teller and I give her the money. She says, "You should not have this money." And I say, yeah, "I hope you and your family have enema all over itself." It's better in Czech. So she goes and gets her manager, and her manager is Yiri. Yiri is very, very, very handsome. And he sees me and he actually smiles and he says, "I know you." And I say, "Oh no, this never ends well. Either you're going to have me arrested or you're going to stalk me home and rip off my fingers or something like that." He says, "No, my name is Yiri. We grew up together." "Hey, you're going to have to be more specific, Yiri. Our parents, they were friends, our families were friends. We grew up together, we played together as children. Our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, they were in the same apartment when the Nazis came. And the survivors, they would tell us the stories every week. They were horrible stories. They haunt me still. You don't remember." "And you're going to have to be more specific." "I will take my money elsewhere, I think." "Marlena!" He grabs my hand and he says my name. "Marlena! Freak!" And I storm off. What an S. You know, he probably has that same line with all the ladies. I try to go about my business, but I can't shake the thought of this idiot. But I don't remember him. I don't remember anything about him. And why am I so angry about it? I mean, usually I'm a pretty hostile person. Very hostile. And yet I don't remember. I think, but then I start to think, well, Marlena, maybe it explains a few things. Maybe you're angry all the time. Maybe you always want to beat the shit out of men. Maybe you are always drunk and throwing cabbage at police officers. That's just funny, though. that's possible. And yet I don't remember. I think I am Jewish, I'm Czech, it stands to reason that my family was, but I think that maybe everybody has used up all of the memories for me. For politics and grief and self-righteousness, there is nothing left for Marlena. Marlena, who was never Jewish enough. I think I'm angry about this. Or maybe more like sad. Maybe I'm like sad about this. And this is what Yiri, he helped me to do. He helped me to be sad and not just angry. So I think maybe he will bring out my goodness. So I become obsessed with Yiri. I start to call him 200 times a day at the bank, and then I hang up because I'm too scared. I show up at the bank and I'm depositing, I'm withdrawing, I'm depositing, I'm withdrawing. I even wore pants. Real pants! I was out of control. But I never had the courage to ask for him. So one day, I say to myself, Marlena, today is the day that you are going to go up to Yiri and you are going to ask him the stories, you're going to find out your history, you're going to get all of the answers. And so I follow him to his lunch break and I approach him at his table. I say, Yiri, I am ready. I am ready to hear the stories. I'm ready to learn about my past. I love you. I love you, Yiri. I love you. He says, oh, I am here with my wife, who's right behind you. Yindrichka, please meet Marlena. Hi, I'm Yindrichka. I'm Yiri's wife. Blah, blah. Pleasure to meet you. I know. I will follow her into the bathroom. And I will tell her that her husband likes to have grapefruits thrown at his genitals on the weekends. No, not grapefruits. Herring. He wants to have herring. Then I think, no, Marlena, it is time to let go. You must let this go. You must proceed like before. Yindrichka, it was a real pleasure to meet you. I was just here at the cafe to get some food and relax. Lovely to meet you. Oh, it was nice to meet you too, Marlena. So I go and I sit in a corner and I eat purposefully, with purpose. I don't think anybody will bother me here, no. That was wrong. The moral of the story, people, is don't ever trust men, or else you will be approached by an annoying hippie in a cafe with nothing but coffee shit in her wallet.